watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into your Friday, August 2nd edition of Good Morning Vail. We're calling this the C. Anthony Extravaganza. C. Anthony is a beautiful gallery located up in Beaver Creek. It's 6,000 square feet of art for you to look at. There's over 40 artists for you to enjoy up there, and we're very fortunate. We're going to be interviewing 3 of the great artists, Britton, James Jensen, and Timothy Lawton, as well as introducing you to an artist that they've had there for quite some time. We're taking a look back on an interview that we've done with the one and only David Yarrow. Now, all of these artists are going to be here throughout the course of the weekend because it is the Beaver Creek Arts Festival, and you're not going to want to miss the opportunity to meet them and hear what they have to say about their incredible pieces. Good Morning Vail starts now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. So many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. Get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee is brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces.
Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
The C. Anthony Gallery has so many incredible artists, and one of them is named Britton. Now, she does these beautiful pieces that really evoke quite a bit of emotion, and she uses these unique elements. Well, I had the opportunity to chat with her earlier in the week before she comes up here and spends Saturday at the C. Anthony Gallery to really talk more about her work. So let's hear what Britton has to say. The place to be this weekend is the C. Anthony Gallery up in Beaver Creek as the Arts Festival is taking place, and we're joined by one of their incredible artists, Britton. Britton, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, thanks for being here in my studio with me. This is fun.
This is a very unique opportunity because not many people get to be welcomed into your artistic studio where you create all of your beautiful pieces. Now you've got a gorgeous piece right behind you right now. And so as people are making their way up to Beaver Creek, let's talk about a little bit of your artist process because your work is so different than the other artists that we'll see at the C. Anthony Gallery.
Okay, well, I usually start with a water base, and then I kind of let that work its way around the canvas organically. I'm laying flat at that point. I've got a table back there that's behind this easel that I work on, and then that dries, and I apply an adhesive, and I use gold, silver, and copper leaf at that point, kind of like a mosaic. I just place it in certain spots. And then the oil and resin happens here on the easel, pretty much more like a typical artist. As you can see, I've got my brushes and the oil paints and all that. And that's the final layer. Well, the varnish is actually the final layer to seal it all together. But this is when it comes together as the pieces that you know and love by me.
Which is so incredible. And the use of the gold, silver, and copper leaf, I didn't know that you just sporadically placed them as you were kind of bringing the canvas together after that water base, which then makes your pieces so much more unique because as you're creating, you just let everything kind of flow through you.
Yes, yes. And I really feel like the gold, silver, and copper, that metallic layer, adds such a nice reflective quality to the work, and it allows kind of a window that you can see through the water base into the water base layer, and then I can build on top of it with the oils. So there's more dimension in the pieces because of that layer of metallics. And they reflect light so beautifully, and that I love that.
I love that they reflect the light so beautifully because it changes the depth and it changes the dimension of the piece based on where the light is coming from. So a direct source of light illuminates that painting and it looks so beautiful, but then when you take the lights down or maybe you see that sunlight or that moonlight passing over it, it totally changes the way that the painting feels and looks.
Yeah, I think natural light is actually where the paintings look the best.
I agree with you.
Throughout the day.
Yeah, well, and then you just get a new painting to look at as the sun and the moon move across, and that way it is ever-changing, ever-evolving, and it really goes with that concept of time that you and I had the opportunity to chat about last time we spoke, and so let's touch on that.
You want to talk about my clouds?
I want to talk about your clouds. There's a cloud painting up and over your shoulder right now. I think
yeah, there's another one over there. They're everywhere.
I think we should talk about the clouds.
Okay. Well, I've been inspired by the sky. I guess I've been waiting for my first grandchild to be born. Any day she's coming, my granddaughter. My daughter's birthday is actually today, and she is due right now. So, imminent arrival. And I've been spending a lot of time just contemplating the passage of time and how quickly time flies when I'm looking in the past, like thinking about how quickly my daughter has grown up and now is actually having a child of her own, and just contemplating life, I think the sky and clouds are such a beautiful representation of how everything changes constantly, and just that natural process of life evolving. So that's been my inspiration lately. I've been doing a lot of clouds and a lot of light through the clouds, a lot of changing clouds, and like we talked about, the reflective quality I love that the clouds can change throughout the day with different lights.
And your use of paint and color is so unique because as you shine that light on it, it will illuminate. It will look like the sun is finally making its way through those clouds and you can see it in certain lights. But then on the use of colors that you do, if you turn the lights down, because of the shades, it'll get dark and almost look like there's a storm brewing, or maybe the storm is just finally breaking with your pieces.
Right. Yeah, that's the contrast, and I think that's actually a really important part of creating light, is to create the contrast, and that's important in life too. Just realizing that there's the balance.
And then of course you do these incredible floral pieces that really bring the canvases to life, as you can see the movement of the petals and the way the light reflects in certain areas. And so let's talk a little bit about your inspiration with the flowers.
Well, the flowers have always been my thing. I mean, I've just always had this this love for flowers ever since a child. I've had this relationship with them. I've always talked to them. I'm just, completely inspired by the shape of a petal and how the light reflects on a petal and the translucency of a petal, and how a flower can adjust to capture the light, and I don't know, the whole organic process of flowers, growing and evolving is, I think I've kind of developed this philosophy that's a lot like me and my personal growth, where, a bud will become a bloom, and the different stages of life into, full bloom. So, yeah, flowers have been my thing for a long time.
Well, and you're a very light person. Anyone who's had the opportunity to be around you, the essence that you fill the room with is light and love. And so then having that moment, and then almost that translucency with your transparency that you put into your paintings with your intentions, I think it represents you perfectly, the florals.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, as people are making their way up to C. Anthony Gallery for the art festival and having the opportunity to look at your painting, all of your paintings, not just one of them, what is something that you hope that they feel as they're kind of diving into your artwork?
I don't have a statement about, how I want people to feel. I don't want to control that. If anything, I want to offer the freedom to feel it, completely on your own from a soul level, without any external influence or reflection. I feel like it's a personal experience when you really connect with a piece of art, and that's the only intention I have, is that it's an offering, I guess, for that experience, and whatever comes from it is the gift.
Which I think is so amazing, and it's always so fascinating to hear what people have to say about your work. Britton, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all of this great information, and thank you for being one of those incredible artists that spreads your love throughout your pieces.
Yes, enjoy the art festival. So fun.
Yes, it is. Make sure that you make your way up to Beaver Creek. That way you can enjoy incredible artists like Britton at the C. Anthony Gallery, because it's going to be a wonderful place to be this weekend. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
It sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No.
Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reels, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to introduce you to another incredible artist, and that's James Jensen, who you can see up at the C. Anthony Gallery all weekend long. James, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Great. It's good to be here.
Oh, we love having you here because I love picking your creative brain. You have such a unique expression behind each and every one of your pieces. And so let's talk about how your career has transpired from doing these beautiful still lives to this very fun contemporary abstract.
It has been a journey. It's been quite a long adventure of going from realist painting over to contemporary realism, and then abstract, and now these wonderful, complicated, you can kind of see it behind me, where they have a lot of graphic quality and vibrant color, a lot of movement. So they're really exciting.
A lot of movement. And what transpired as your career transpired to push you away from that traditional style and more into this contemporary abstract style?
I think I was restless. As an artist, it's kind of easy to stick in one area, but then you're curious about working in a different way. And so you want to trust your skills and everything you've done up to a point, and then take a leap and see if it works. That's a daring, adventurous part of being an artist.
And your work has definitely worked for you. Now, you have talked about this movement that you have in your new pieces, and there's definitely this ribbon-like form that you kind of see throughout a lot of the collections that you're doing right now. And so let's talk about what inspired this ribbon.
It's it's a play on graphics and geometry, and then some little tricks up the sleeve of hiding dimension and depth. But even though they're very strong, they're uplifting. They're playful, and they make you scratch your head a minute and just wonder what's going on in the painting. And there's a lot going on. So you have to, as an artist, we have to trust our sense of editing and storytelling. But they do have a real set of kind of whimsical roller coaster ride.
And your work is so unique because there's so many different layers to it. So you have your paint, and then you have your gold and silver leaf, and then you have your resin. And so when you're creating a painting, how long does it take you from start to finish?
Some parts are very quick, and you can just see by the way the paint is laid down that there's an excitement with the paint and the way it's applied. Sometimes when you work quickly, it's exciting. But having said that, I layer a lot of paint, and that takes a long time. Everything has to dry. You're really aware of the different layers. So the answer is some parts are very quick, and then you let it evolve at the pace that it needs to.
Which I think is so important, and I think that makes your pieces so unique because as you're diving into them, you can find these perfect little color moments that you can resonate with so deeply, and then you can step back and see all of the colors that bring this piece to life and all of that movement and all of the emotion that these colors really evoke. So now as you're picking your colors to create these pieces, what's kind of going through your head?
I'm not afraid of color. Color is a big impact, not just for me, but for the viewer. color, people react emotionally to color. So I have a strong use of color and materials. So what's hard for me to do is to tone it down because I love vibrant, strong color. And sometimes my wrestling match is to have some areas that are calm and some parts that have some repose, so the strong areas can really have impact.
Which I think is one of those things that people don't necessarily fully understand when they're looking at abstract art, on the intention behind what you've created and how perfectly you've kind of cultivated these colors to be together to evoke that emotion. Now, we've previously spoken where we've had a great interview and we talked about the color red, and I think that you have such a strong stance on the color red. So I would love to reshare that opinion and that view with our viewers.
I should be banned from using red, but I love it. It's just, there's so much red in the paintings, but red is, once again, it grips people. It grips me. It's a daring color. It's uplifting, but it also can be a little angry, but I think it's just saturatingly beautiful. And so you will see a lot of red and orange. Primary colors, I really circle around. They just have so much honest fortitude, and that's my color palette.
Which I think is so powerful, because as I look at the piece behind you and I'm just getting little tidbits behind your head, anytime you use the color yellow throughout your pieces, it captivates me, because yellow is one of those colors that I resonate with sunflowers and sunshine and my family. And so to see that yellow immediately, that's always my favorite moment in every one of your pieces.
Yellow is the little crowning moment in paintings. I save it for the end as that final icing on the cake. It's just like you said. It's a happy color, and it kind of dominates over everything in my painting. And ends up with a little dash of yellow or gold, and that's just the little cherry on the top.
Which is so wonderful to see, because when you look at your paintings, people can resonate not only with the colors, but the movement and all of that different spice almost that they bring, because they do have all of those colors that really, really force you to take a step back. And one of the most incredible parts about your work is people can spend an abundance of time just admiring one piece.
I'm glad you point that out. Even though they look very impactful at the beginning, when you first see them up close, there's a lot of delicate areas, a lot of little places to linger. So they're not just a one-note strong painting. They have a beautiful story, and it does ask you to maybe not try to figure it out because they're complicated, but there's areas that are just joyful and mysterious.
And I love that. I love the mystery behind each and every one of your paintings. You have a great painting that you're showing at C. Anthony Gallery right now titled Riddle. And it is a spectacular piece for people to come and enjoy and really spend some time with each element that they see in it, from the dripping paint to that center where you kind of see that little globe figure that's in there that really makes you kind of evoke that curiosity in your brain.
I couldn't say it better. That's very well observed. I want people to be compelled to look at the painting. Once again, it may not be a story that's answered. There's so much going on. It's almost like a snapshot into something moving beautifully and strongly and just frozen. And you get to look at all of this commotion in one frozen moment.
And as people are looking at your paintings and they're kind of absorbing all of these delicate moments to all of these very loud and upfront moments, what is something that you hope everyone kind of takes away from them?
Contemporary art, modern art, abstract art sometimes is always holding hands with kind of maybe a dark urban a kind of forceful message. Mine, even though they are strong, they're very uplifting. I think there's a happiness with the paintings, and the joyful part should linger. I think people are uplifted by the paintings.
I can say that every time I have the opportunity to see any of your work, it is one of those moments of solace for me, because I can spend an hour with one painting and look at the different colorations. Because of the way you layer them, you do have these moments. And going back to Riddle, there's this brushstroke moment that has these deep purples and these light pinks and this white that really is mixed together in these very unique brushstrokes, and you can captivate yourself there in that moment, whether it resonates a sunset with you or a dress that you love to wear. It all has that delicacy that you were talking about earlier, and I think that's so beautiful, because what a unique way to bring that out of people.
Well, that's wonderfully observed. I could only hope that more people have that response. That's beautifully worded, Maddie. Thank you.
Of course, and thank you for taking the time to chat with me, giving us all this great information. Now, if you have inspired a young artist somewhere to maybe dabble in the world of contemporary abstract, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
I would say trust that voice deep down that got you started in the first place. It's easy to be impacted by others, but a young artist, there's a calling, there's a voice. You got to keep a hold of that and see it through, and enjoy the whole art world, but stay true to that voice that's guiding you always.
And do you think that a young James Jensen would be amazed at the progress he's made with his art and how it's transpired over the years?
Well, I didn't see all this coming, and the adventure and the journey is soulful. Artists have to be a little selfish in this adventure. It starts with our core. And so it's a wild ride, I'll say that.
It is a wild ride, and to see the progression of your artwork is always so fascinating, because there's a great quote that you have to learn all the rules before you can break them, and I feel like your art shows just that.
Again, very nice choice of wording. Thank you.
Of course, of course. James, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and giving us all this great information. People can come up to Beaver Creek and see you over the course of the weekend.
Absolutely. See you soon.
Make sure that you make your way up to C. Anthony Gallery this weekend, because there's going to be so many incredible artists for you to meet, to learn about, and the C. Anthony Gallery is one of the biggest representations of art in our community, and so it's a great place to go and explore and really enjoy some time with some incredible artists just like James Jensen. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today. Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition
to pay it forward. Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
Good morning, Vail.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Your mom will make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. So many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. Get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee is brewing, you're on your way. The phone is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to introduce you to another incredible artist that you can catch at the St. Anthony Gallery, and that is glassblower Tim Lawton. Tim, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Now, for people who don't understand how intense glass blowing is as an art form, let's talk a little bit about the process.
Absolutely. Yeah, so when we start, studio is usually pretty warm about this time of year. We have a 2,300 degree furnace about 10 feet away, so usually during the summer I'm prone to losing about 10 pounds, so it works out well. But so it begins inside the hot shop, and we're going in and out of the furnace with about a 6-foot steel rod that goes inside what's called a crucible inside the furnace that's filled with different colors of glass. And we'll go open a door and dip it in the glass, turn it around, come out, bring it back to our workbench, and that's when the process begins.
Now, you are a third-generation glass blower, which is incredible. So your family has a traditional style that they use to make these beautiful glass pieces. Let's talk about that traditional style.
Yeah, absolutely. So what my family is kind of known for, and what my grandfather started back in the early 70s, was different floral designs and motifs. So there's a lot of different things I do, but I always keep some floral style pieces, no matter what body of work I get into. And there's a lot of layering with that technique. Especially with my pieces, I like doing thick dimensional floral pieces, and to do that, it's just building layer upon layer using different colors and materials to get the achieved look of depth.
These pieces are absolutely magnificent when you see them in person, and you can see that layering technique. It gives them that three-dimensional look. And then, of course, as your career has kind of progressed, you've changed your style just a little bit, doing these beautiful freeform pieces with this color pulled all the way through. Was that a hard technique to learn?
It is. There's a lot of casualties in learning those pieces. Just to get the really wild and fun shapes can be, the difference between keeping the piece hot for an extra 10 seconds. It could be the most beautiful piece you've ever seen, and then keep it in for, 10 extra seconds, and it winds up on the floor and then in the garbage. So it really comes down to the last minutes of shaping. So it's a totally different style than the floral, which are kind of very, there are things that come up very regimented, and we kind of know the direction for the most part, where they're going to go and what I need to do. And the freeforms are a lot of just wildness and spontaneity in the last 10 minutes of the piece to determine the final outcome, to kind of freeze that moment, whatever was happening in the shop at that time. So they're different and they're fun. Really like them. Excited. Probably the most exciting thing that.
I mean, they're breathtaking, and the color variation that you have is so phenomenal between the pinks and the purples and the blues and the greens and then those reds that we get to see. They're so beautiful, and then on some of them you're adding this very unique frosted coloring to them. Can you give us more information on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So to start out with something that's very different than any other studio, my grandfather created all the colors that we use in the glass. So everything that we make in studio, color-wise and crystal, we make from scratch, starting at silicon sand, and so that's very unique and gives us a palette that's different than everyone else. Kind of tweak things and make the picture special, and so that's really cool. And then the other techniques, there's different sprays, and you can get different looks out of the interior of the piece with different metallic sprays, and that can vary on the day too. A spray might look a lot different today than it will tomorrow, just based on the humidity and temperature in the air. So there's a lot of variables that make things very special at that moment, and always keeps you guessing.
But they're so beautiful, each and every piece, but you're also doing these incredible sculpture pieces, and that's what we're excited to see at the C. Anthony Gallery this weekend. So can you give us some more information on what kind of switched you from the vases to the sculptures?
You know, I kind of wanted to figure out something to take it to the next level, and make it the be displayed in different places, and I always look for a new challenge, and that was the direction it kind of went, and I've been building upon that, and it's rewarding yet extremely difficult. It's one of those projects you're proud of, but extremely glad for the work you put in, and I'm extremely glad for the work I've done on it, and I can't wait to show it.
Tim, we're excited to have you here in our community. We're excited to see your new works, and we're excited to have you explain each and every piece as you see them, because I love the artist intention behind every work that we get to see come into our wonderful community and to our beautiful galleries such as C. Anthony. Now, as people are making their way up to Beaver Creek and they're taking some time to chat with you, what other information are you available to give them?
I'm there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Got a lot of great pieces. Come by, pick my brain. More than happy to answer any of your questions and show you what I do.
And then, of course, if there's a young artist out there who's interested in glass blowing and maybe you have inspired them to go that route with their career, what would you give them as a piece of advice?
Let's see. Not to give up. Be ready for a lot of pain to get there. That is for sure. And sweating, the whole blood, sweat, and tears, 100%. But there is something.
Oh no, I believe we've lost connection with Tim as he is driving currently to get here for the show that's taking place today, and we're really excited to have him here in the community. We didn't hear the end of your blood, sweat, and tears advice, so if you could finish that up for us.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, just, be ready to, there's no part-time glass artist, so you got to be all or nothing.
And you get to continue to create this beautiful glass art. Do you still do it with your family?
My studio is about 5 minutes down the street. So, anybody that works with family knows it can be a little troublesome. But, 5 minutes is good. It's far enough to where, it keeps things pretty easy.
Tim, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information. We're really excited to have you here in our community and see you at the C. Anthony Gallery.
I'm excited to see you guys too this weekend. Looking forward to it.
Make sure that you make your way up to C. Anthony Gallery today, tomorrow, and Sunday, because it is going to be absolutely incredible with all of the fantastic artists there and all of the information that you can learn. You can pick Tim's brain himself on his beautiful glass pieces, and that way you can find the perfect one to place in your home. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got some more artists to introduce you to.
Good morning, Vail.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at LeadvilleRailroad.com.
The Paltrow Cast is an award-winning weekly series featuring exclusive interviews with entertainers, athletes, and other influencers. Tune in weekdays at 10 a.m. to see where the conversation takes us.
Paltrow
When making money is the aim, these kids, they bring their game. They're the biz kids.
Can you dig it?
Real businesses by real biz kids. Watch and learn tips on how to start your own business.
Right on.
Good morning, Vail.
Although David Yarrow is not here this weekend at the C. Anthony Gallery, he is an incredible artist that is showing there, so you can always go up and enjoy his work because he has these breathtaking pieces that you're not going to want to miss out on. A couple years ago, I had the opportunity to interview David Yarrow about what inspires these breathtaking pieces, and so we're going to just take a little look back in time and introduce you to David Yarrow. Welcome back to the show. We're standing here in the beautiful C. Anthony Gallery with one of the most collected contemporary photographers in the world, and that's David Yarrow. Thank you so much for being here to chat with you.
It's great to be here. I know it's a very special place, Beaver Creek, and coming here in Vail, we meet so many old friends. So it's not work. It's great fun to come up here.
Well, we love when you come up here, only because your work is so phenomenal. You're taking our galleries by storm right now, and we've got so many incredible pieces around us, but you've really created a brand for yourself. So who is David Yarrow?
David Yarrow is a Scotsman in the late summer of his life, trying finally to make an honest living. He is a father, and my son's with me now, and we collaborate with many great Americans, and it's an honor to work with some of the people that we work with, and it's an honor to work with some of the galleries that we work with. I have been a photographer for probably 30, 40 years. I started taking first paid pictures when I was 17.
Wow.
So it's, when people say, you've been an overnight success, I say, well, not really, it's been 40 years. And there've been a lot of bumps on the road. But there's been a constancy and the determination to create art that engages people. And I think maybe my mother was an artist, and I learned a lot from what she got right and a lot what she got wrong. But I think artists should maybe think a little bit more about what the bar is looking for. And we're very focused on what people want rather than what we can necessarily take.
Which I think you do such a great job of capturing all of these incredible pieces, and you've done such a wonderful job throughout your entire career because you have so many different varieties, but you've really been focusing on this theme of the West. So what kind of drew you to the West?
Well, I think Taylor Sheridan's also very focused on the West at the moment with 1883 and the new series. And I think the second half of the 19th century in your country is the greatest story ever told. Partly because of the characters, the character-rich people, and partly because it was played out against the most extraordinary landscapes and backdrops, and the Colorado being a case in point because you have these extraordinary canyons, box canyons like Telluride and Creed that we love to film in. So it's a character richness of the second half of the 19th century that allows you, as a storyteller, you've got so much material to play with.
Well, so what helped you discover America West as you were kind of starting this inspiration in all of these great works of art? Because we have so many of them around us right now.
I think all artists, they copy, they get ideas from seeing the work of others. I remember when we filmed in Telluride, we were very conscious of the fact that Tarantino shot The Hateful Eight very close to where we're filming. So inevitably, you go and watch it, and you go and watch it again. He himself said that artists tend to have very few original ideas. You get thrown ideas from the things that you see. And I think there is so much potential still. Colorado, Montana, Texas, Wyoming, they're all places that we feel that we haven't really done more than scratch the surface of.
There are some incredible places to shoot here, and we're always so lucky when we have you in our community taking some great pictures. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the philanthropy side of things, because you are a very large philanthropist, and you're very involved with your work, and you make sure your work is very involved with it. So can you give us some more information on that?
I think it just gives an added purpose to what we do. It also allows me to work with people perhaps that I wouldn't get the access to if I just said, here's a project that's purely for financial gain. Whereas we turn around and say, here's a project whereby we could give $1 million back to a pediatric cancer hospital or something like that, I think it encouraged them to get involved in something that's slightly different. I think also for everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're your age or my age, I think contextuality is important. We're very blessed being in a ski resort like this on a beautiful day, but there are people that are far less fortunate than us, and spending time with them, I think, lends contextuality to what you do, and humility. I'm an artist, but I'm a father first and foremost. That's the most important thing for me.
And I loved seeing your son come in with you. You guys both had gigantic smiles on your faces. He's here helping you set up everything.
Because when we were coming through, there was someone giving a critique of the work inside, and they didn't know that the artist was walking past, and they went, "Yeah, the pictures are, well, whatever, but the sculptures are really good." So we thought that was very entertaining. And everyone's entitled to a view.
Right. Well, sometimes you catch those right at the right moment, and you get them as you're walking into your own gallery show.
My middle name's going to be whatever now. It's like they're whatever.
Now, you just released a new book, so can you give us some more information about the new book, what people can expect from it, and where people can find it?
Well, hopefully not on eBay from the people that bought it last night, but hopefully you can get it in Barnes & Noble. You can get it, obviously, on Amazon. You can get it here, where it's going to be signed. The proceeds... it's all for charity. You know, books, there's no money in books unless you write about wizards or werewolves or pasta. But it's like a nice business card, but if it helps raise money as well. It's a book of stories. I'm a storyteller. And it's just a collection of stories of some of the photographs we've taken.
Which I think is so cool. Now, I do want to ask you, because you are known for selling such incredible pieces of art. You've curated such a collection. Now, you've had pieces sell for up to $100,000. What's next for you?
You know, being an artist is a journey. It's the journey that matters. It's not the final destination. I don't know what I'm going to be photographing in a year's time, but there'll be a journey. I didn't know what I would be photographing last week, a year ago. So, but the key thing is always to be authentic and try and do different stuff. I'm not quite sure where we'll be in 3 months' time, but I know where we'll be in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and we've got some exciting projects in New York next week.
Well, we're excited to see those upcoming projects. Now, if you had to give one piece of advice to a younger David Yarrow right now, what would you say to him?
One piece of advice. I think the most important thing of advice I give to every aspiring photographer is make sure no one can be a bigger critic of your work than yourself. To be really tough on yourself. We're very tough on ourselves. You know, last year, I don't think had a particularly good year creatively. I think maybe I took 4 strong pictures. And this year, I've taken 2 so far this year. So if we can do 5 a year, I see too many people using their website as a sort of photo dump. and they go away for a week to somewhere, and they put 100 pictures on the. Are you really saying that every hour you take a picture the world needs to see? That's exceptional. You must be exceptionally talented to do that. So our goal is five pictures in a year. And the other thing, I think, is to read and research. And when I was 20, by the time I was 25, I knew the business model of every relevant contemporary photographer in the world. That was my job, just to understand what they were getting right and what they were getting wrong. Ansel Adams, your most famous photographer, said photography is about the work of others. Learning from the work of others, seeing things you like and things you don't like. Photography is not about a camera, it's about your heart. I think too many people obsess about camera settings and camera manuals. My biggest fear is, one of these events, some camera geek asks me a question about 285 of the manual, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So I'm much more, it's all about your heart and your soul. It's not about the piece of metal in front of you.
Which I think is so important. Now, we've got some great images around us right now and some very well curated images around us. And so can you tell me just a little bit more about what the curation process is like?
Well, if you're in charge of staging a picture, so there's no element of spontaneity, it is beholden on you to have a compositional balance. And if you're trying to use one picture, 1/250th second to tell a story, you've got to make every part of the frame sweat. So you've got to make sure there's no tension points, that every part of the picture has a role to play in telling a story. So if you carefully compose a picture, it's almost like you've got to have a surgeon's eye for detail, which is a long way from where I started photographing sport or skiing, like up here, where it's more spontaneous. You're capturing a moment, but you're taking a picture rather than making a picture. I make pictures, and I'm very unapologetic about that. I think if you're simply taking a picture, there's an extent to which it might not be art, because art does involve a degree of preconception. Whereas if it's just capturing something that happens in front of your camera, there hasn't, by definition, been that preconception. That doesn't mean it can't be a great picture, but the creative process is fairly stunted because there hasn't been a preconception behind it.
Which I think is so cool, and I think it's so incredible to have you here in our community joining us, giving us all this great information. David Yarrow,
you're very kind.
A legend here in Beaver Creek at the C. Anthony Gallery. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and giving us all this great information, and thank you for the inspiration that you carry through all your work.
Bless you. You're very kind. Thank you.
Make sure that you make your way up to the C. Anthony Gallery. You check out his incredible artwork because there are so many amazing pieces throughout our community, and you can definitely find a bunch of them up here at the C. Anthony Gallery. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunities of points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point of this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
What happens to a poker player when there is life-changing money on the line?
Hey, catch! I'm rooting for me.
When they are faced with adversity.
Holy smokes. Jason can't even breathe right now. Look at him.
When a WPT title is within their grasp.
How sweet that is, baby!
See for yourself with a front row seat to all the action on the World Poker Tour.
Each week on The Tech Show, you can look forward to the latest in technology and how you can use it too. We'll also chat with leading experts, and you'll find out if the latest gadget will take my money or not. Don't miss The Tech Show. Tech your local listings.
Good morning, Vail.
Get up, get ready to start your day. Mountains are calling you out to play. Your mom will make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. So many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. Get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee is brewing, you're on your way. The phone is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
We want to thank you so much for tuning into your Friday edition of Good Morning Vail. We love getting to be here to bring you all of this great information. Now, today is a beautiful day to make your way up to the St. Anthony Gallery and have the opportunity to mingle with all of these incredible artists, whether it's Britton, whether it's James Jensen, whether it's Tim Lawton. Now, they all have such a unique art style and form to them, and all of their pieces are absolutely breathtaking. So head up to Beaver Creek, go into the St. Anthony Gallery, and spend some time getting to know each and every artist, as all of their pieces are so beautiful, and that way you can help elevate your home with some new artwork. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow for your Saturday edition of Good Morning Vail. I'll be your host, Maddie, and I'll see you then.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer